There are stories we inherit as a nation, stories buried in silence, stories carried in the hearts of families still waiting for answers. In the Gambia of Yaya Jammeh, fear had many faces, but some were more terrifying than others. And among those shadows, one name rose again and again: Sanna Manjang. We don't know the boy he was. We don't know his dreams, his laughter, his childhood. His story begins for us where so many painful Gambian stories begin, inside the Gambia Armed Forces. A young man in uniform walking into a wall where orders are followed. Questions are dangerous and silence is the safest language. In those early years, he was just another soldier, but history has a way of choosing its characters, and soon, Jammeh's government would choose Sanna for something darker. As paranoia consumed Jammeh, a new unit emerged, secretive, loyal, feared. They called themselves the Patrol Team. The country called them the Junglers. Handpicked for silence, tested for obedience, trained for missions no regular soldier should ever carry out. Among the names whispered in fear: Tumbul Tamba, Solo Bojang, Malik Jata, Aliu Jang, Omar Oya Jallo. And shaping himself quietly among them, Sanna Manjang. Witnesses would later say he didn't flinch, he didn't hesitate, didn't ask why. He simply did. And the nation would feel the weight of that obedience for years to come. The junglers' missions grew darker, their targets broader, their violence sharper. And at the heart of that violence, time and time again, stood Sanna. One jungler told the TRRC, if Sanna was there, someone would not return, someone would die. The truth is painful, but it must be said. He became one of the regime's most feared executors, a man whose presence meant the difference between life and disappearance. Over 50 West African migrants, dreaming of Europe, were taken into custody and never seen again. Witnesses told the TRRC that Sanna led the briefing, that he fired the shot that ended a man's final prayer. Dreams turned into graves, and one of the darkest nights of our history became tied to his name. A fearless journalist, a national truth teller, Malik Jata's testimony placed Sanna in the car when bullets shattered the silence on Sankunsilla Road and ended the life of Deyda Hydara, a voice of truth, silenced by the shadows. Two American citizens, Ibu Job and Alaji Sise, came to the Gambia with hope and ambition. They vanished. Junglers testified that they abducted the men, tortured them, killed them, and disposed of their bodies. And among the names involved, Sanna Manjang appeared again. Families in the US still wait for remains that were never returned, still wait for answers that never came. Kajali Baji, a rebel fighter from Casamance, was captured on Gambian soil. According to jungler Oya Jallo, Sanna Manjang was one of the men who executed him in cold blood. His body was buried in the forest, another life taken in the dark, forgotten by all but the trees and the men who pulled the trigger. Haruna Jammeh, Bubakar Jasaja Jammeh, Jammeh's cousins, ordinary Gambians caught in extraordinary cruelty. The TRRC found that Sanna played a direct role in the killings, a shocking reminder that under Jammeh, even family was expendable. Countless detainees, journalists, opposition figures, suspected rebels passed through the junglers' hands. Some survived, many didn't. Stories of torture, beatings, suffocation, electrocutions. Stories too painful to relive, yet too important to forget. And again, Sanna Manjang's name resurfaces in these accounts, not always as the only perpetrator, but often as the most feared one. When Jammeh fled in 2017, the junglers fractured. Some turned themselves in, some sought forgiveness, some testified. But Sanna ran into Senegal, into Guinea-Bissau, into forests and safe houses, into the wind. For years, he lived like a ghost, feared, hunted, but never caught. At the TRRC, the truth finally found its voice. Families who waited decades spoke the names of their loved ones. Survivors described nights they wished they could forget. Children asked why their fathers never came home. And through those tears, one name appeared again and again: Sanna Manjang. Proof that even in darkness, the truth remembers. In 2025, deep inside the Casamance forest, a joint Gambian-Senegalese operation finally closed in. The chase ended, the silence broken. Sanna Manjang, once Jammeh's deadliest shadow, was finally captured. For the families who lost loved ones, it was not victory, not joy, just relief. A small opening in a long road towards justice. Who is Sanna Manjang? A soldier swallowed by a broken system, a loyalist who chose darkness, or a man who willingly became an instrument of terror? The courts will decide, history will record, but the nation must heal. And healing begins with truth, however painful it may be.
You're listening to Bitilo with Deyda Hydara.